Hello and good evening to you all, or maybe it is good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. Do let me know actually in the chat below where are you located today. Here is a very special live for you today, the Valentine's Day special, the day of love, or maybe a nightmare. Why a nightmare? Well, it could be pretty much a nightmare. First, if you're in a really unhappy relationships, and also it could be a day of love if you are in a loving and beautiful relationship. So do me a favor, do type below, are you in a loving relationships or maybe you're single? And who knows, perhaps somebody will notice that you're single and they will reach out to you just because you were brave enough and you typed that you're single and you're looking for love. But anyways, why did I want to go to the live? Because I know that some of you, my dear single people, and those who are in unhappy relationships today are quite struggling. And I remember those days myself because I would be looking back in the days when I still was not married at those couples who were all loved up, bringing flowers or buying gifts for each other, having those romantic dinners in the restaurants, and I'll be thinking, oh God, you know what? I also would love to be in relationships. And the thing is, every single person on earth somehow wants to be in relationships. Whether you are in or not yet, that's a different question, okay? But many people in the world right now, they are suffering because they're either in a very unhappy, unfulfilling, terrifying, even domestically abusive relationships. Right, so for them, these days it's definitely a nightmare. So my tip for you who is actually in those type of relationships, first of all, there's no time in your lifetime to waste on these type of relationships. There's no better time for you to leave that type of relationships and then now, right? If you are not happy, if you really feel that you're not fulfilled in these relationships, first it's time to leave. Okay, if you really feel like, okay, I could do something with these relationships, in that case, what you got to do is to actually have finally a really honest conversation, a very honest conversation about what exactly is not working out between us. Which direction are we going? Here's a question for you, which you can ask each other, okay? Next time you argue or when you would like to improve something in your relationships, ask each other, this conversation, is this going to improve our relationships or not? This argument, is it going to improve our relationships or not? These actions, this behavior, what we are doing right now, is it going to improve our relationships or not? Right? Because remember, every single thing that you do in your relationships is either working towards great relationships or it's working towards ruining your relationships. Okay? So ask yourself, am I willing to put some extra work on myself and these relationships to make things work? And if you don't see any great outcome from these relationships, why would you be in that? And I know some of you are still in unhappy relationships because you are believing that there's nobody else on earth who actually would be with you. And let me reassure you, this is a total BS. This is a total BS. Just look around, look at those successful stories where people broke up with somebody and actually they found somebody. And let me reassure you, I'm not the person who actually is for separation of family. If anything, I do want people to be happy. But I know, I've been in your shoes. I know what it can be like to be in a very unfulfilling relationships. And you're staying there for the sake of children, for the sake of, well, but maybe it will get better. But maybe after this moment, maybe after this curve, maybe after this event. Trust me, it's not going to get better. It will get only worse unless you will start working on it. Okay, I will not go in circles about this. All right, there are lots of material you can watch on my YouTube channel about relationships. So just tune in, subscribe, and watch some of the videos because there are lots of information about relationships and how to make them work. By the way, there are some really good videos with John Gray. And if you know John Gray, he's the author of Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. He actually, I think, authored about 22 books altogether on relationships. So we have 4 videos together with him. So more than welcome to go to my YouTube channel and find those videos and just binge watch them today, right? Or another day and just learn more about relationships. So that's if you're in unhappy, in unfulfilling relationships, and I just share with you what you can do if you're in those type of relationships. But what about if you're single? Well, let me reassure you, If you're single and you're thinking right now, well, I would love to be in relationships, or you might tell yourself this lie that I'm really happy being single, I'm super satisfied, I have a adventurous life, I don't need anyone. Then let me reassure you that this particular phrase is coming from the depth of the fear, right? We all are human beings and we're all are craving connection. We're all wanting to be in a bond with somebody, right? We all want to be with someone, right? Of course, there are several people in the world who would say, you know what, no, I don't want to be with anybody. But that usually is coming from the anger, from a fear of being hurt again, from the fear of being either cheated again or maybe left behind again. Whatever fear is, it's so deep that you even can't see that. So if you are in that angry state where you are pretending to be super happy, super complete, you don't want to be with anyone, you're actually super amazingly well by yourself, and ask yourself, is it really 100% truth? Is it really, really 100% truth that you are not longing to be with somebody, that you don't need that cuddle, that you don't want to hear I love you, that you don't want somebody just to come around and tell you how important you are to them? Surely you want. So, how about stop running away from that? How about stop lying to yourself, lying to the world, pretending to be super mega happy, saying the lies to your deepest mind, to your deep, the depths of your heart and your soul? How about actually opening your heart and telling, you know what? I'll work on myself. I'll work on my fears. I'll work on what exactly is stopping me to be in relationships. And I will get into one at the right time. It doesn't have to be with the first person you'll meet, but with the right person in the right timing. But I will stop running away. Because for as long as you're running away with a lie that you are super duper happy, guess what? You will continue running away. Okay. So if you are in depth of your soul are recognizing that you would like to be with somebody, in that case, stop saying this phrase. I'm super mega happy to be by myself. Just admit that in the right time, you'll be with somebody and you are happy to wait. It's nothing wrong with waiting for the right time because there's the right time for everything, right? Just like with pregnancy, we know roughly it's about 40 weeks of pregnancy, but guess what? There's never the right time, right? Baby always arrives whenever is the right time for the baby to arrive, okay? In majority of cases, let's put it this way, okay? So there's no rush. There's no even reason to rush because when you rush, this is when you end up in the wrong relationships because you're too desperate. Okay, but how about those singles who actually are openly recognizing I am willing to go into relationships. I am willing to be with somebody. I am willing to be happy and fulfilled and tuned in and connected and being these really amazing relationships. Well, for you, my dear friend, I would like to say this thing. And I'll give you an example. When you see something in front of you, like right now I'm holding this pen, right? That means all the barriers and all the blocks you had in order for you to get there are gone. Okay? For as long as something is not there in front of you, not in your hand, not in front of you, not beside you, that means you still have a block. There's still some barrier for you to get there. Okay? So if you, my single dear friend, are really willing to be in relationships, then I would invite you to work on yourself. Ask yourself, what actually stops me from being in relationships? What is my relationship story? I mean, in this life, of course, I'm not going to solve your life, but that's exactly what I have done to so many of my clients. We discovered their own blocks, we discovered their barriers, we discovered what exactly was holding them from getting into relationships, and there aren't some, right? Well, that's my story as well, because I actually had so many blocks as well, right? I'll bring you one of them because I know it's so probably relevant to so many of you. One of my big blocks about relationships was that I strongly, subconsciously believed that I always have so much fun when I travel on my own. As a result, I was either attracting partners who would not like traveling as much, or together we just would not have that much fun. It just something you just would not gel. Okay, it would go one way or another way, but something would go wrong for sure. Okay, and I would always tell myself the same thing again and again. Oh, see, I told you. always have so much more fun when I travel on my own. Then one day I clicked. And I was like, oh my God, for as long as I tell myself this story, of course I'll be traveling on my own. So guess what? I promised myself, well, you know what? I'm going to start practicing. The next man I will meet, I'll be practicing having fun. I'll be exploring, I'll be paying attention how much fun we both have together, and so on and so on. And guess what? This when I met my husband. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying right now the minute you'll change your story, you will also meet somebody who'll become your husband. Because of course there was a lot more work which I have done on myself before I met my husband. And that was one of the blocks which I discovered and which I replaced. And I promised myself to pay attention when I have more fun with somebody else rather on my own. Okay. And actually literally just yesterday, we both were because right now we're on the island La Graziosa celebrating my husband's birthday. And we're walking just in between these beautiful dunes around the volcano. And I just was breathing in the air, just beauty of the island. It was just so unspoiled island. I mean, there were no people. We're just by ourselves. Some random cyclists would just ride by. There would be a random car would ride by, and we'll be just by ourselves, walking, exploring. And I just was thinking to myself, we really do have so much more fun, so much exploration. We're on this island. We spent 2 days biking, and yesterday we just were walking, exploring. That was just so amazing. And I got myself thinking, this is how it works. This is exactly how it works. The minute you change your story, brand new circumstances are coming into your life. Okay. So I really invite you to start working on yourself. Ask yourself, what exactly is holding me from getting to the relationships of my dreams? What exactly is happening in my heart? What exactly is happening in my soul? What exactly I'm telling myself in my own mind that I'm still not in the relationships that I deserve? And trust me, when you will work on yourself, when you will work on removing those barriers, when you will work on what's something that holds you back, you will do one step closer to your relationships. And just believe and trust, just like gravity works, okay? Just like gravity works. That when you do your work on yourself, the other person is also doing the work on themselves one way or another. And that person is getting closer to you one step at a time, okay? And then let it go because life will sort it out. You don't have to do even too much effort. Life will sort out for you to meet the right person, but you got to work on yourself. And the most important work on yourself will be that unconditional love. And the reason why I mentioned it here, because today is the Valentine's Day, the day of love, right? Those who are in happy relationships, you know right now you're sharing love with each other. You tell each other how much you love each other. You buy cards. Like I love buying the card for my husband, for example, right? So you express love in so many different ways. And hopefully you do it unconditionally. The reason why I bring it as unconditional love to you, my silly little friend, is simply because I know that for as long as you love yourself conditionally, there'll be other people coming into your life loving you conditionally as well. In order for you to be loved unconditionally, you got to fall in love with yourself unconditionally. And I know today there were so many posts, and I've been checking social media, and I was almost like thinking to myself, God, there's so many things about self-love, 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 and I believe in self-love. But we all forget that self-love should be unconditional. Self-love doesn't mean now, okay, I'm gonna love myself when I will lose weight. Self-love doesn't mean that you're gonna love yourself when you will be successful or when you will get to one level or another. Loving yourself unconditionally means like loving your child when the child comes into the world, right? Whether you're mother or father, or even you being a child, if you're parents, you know that the child is loved the minute it is there. Even in a mother's body, child is already loved, but especially when the child is in the world, the child is naked. It's actually not even looking pretty. Child didn't do anything to deserve love yet, and yet it is loved unconditionally. So when you will fall in love with yourself unconditionally within that depth, then you will experience that beautiful love in this world. Then you'll be accepted with all your imperfections. In fact, your imperfections will become somebody else's cute things about you, right? Then you will experience what means loving others unconditionally because you will not have conditions anymore. You will just love them and you will accept people unconditionally. More to that, then you will have this unconditional love to the surrounding of yours, to the earth, to the environment, to the everything that's around you, right? You will love your body. You will not want to harm your body, whether it is alcohol, drugs, or obese eating, or fast food, or some other harm like smoking or whatever it is, right? Because you will love your body. This is what I mean unconditional self-love, right? When you love yourself unconditionally, it will shine through you. It will go beyond you. It will go to your surroundings, to your mini world, from your mini world to the entire world. That's why the Valentine days, it is actually about love, but it is about unconditional self-love. Unconditional self-love, which is spreading to other people, to everything around you. So I'm inviting you to practice today unconditional love towards yourself, towards the world, towards the place you live at. Just look around your place and think, do I love this place? Do I love everything I have at this place? When you walk next time on the street, think to yourself, do I love the street? Do I love the area where I live? Do I love the country where I live in? Right? If you love, then you would take care of that. You really would. Honestly, what was breaking my heart when my husband, as you already know, we spent nearly a week here on this island. And what's really breaking my heart was seeing on this pristine, absolutely immaculate island where they don't even have paved roads. They start kind of now making some sort of a road just to connect one part with another, but still they're unpaved roads, and you look around and there's some rubbish here and there, and you know what, and my loving heart couldn't just walk by. And some people find it really cringy and weird, but I was just picking up that rubbish because I just couldn't walk by, because I know when I spread love, but I want everything to shine love. And when I love myself, when I love the environment, I want the environment to look good. And that's why I was just going there and picking up the trash, okay? That's not to show off, it's just to show you how when you really are fulfilled with love, you will spread it around you. And guess what will happen? The world will give it back to you. Okay? So I'm not gonna keep it for any more longer. It's been enough. But I would invite you to first of all to discover more what is that unconditional love towards yourself, towards others, towards the world. Second of all, I'm inviting you to work on yourself. If you're still not in the relationships of your dreams, then work on yourself, work on the barriers and blocks that are not letting you to get closer to that relationships. And third of all, make sure that you share this video with somebody who you know needs to watch it and to learn from that. I'm inviting you to these 3 steps because I know when you will do that, your life will be fulfilled with love. So to all of you, sending you my love, sending you my kisses. I hope you enjoy this beautiful Valentine's Day. Whatever you do, whatever your relationship status is, it doesn't really matter. Remember, it is about unconditional love, which is within you and shines through you. That's it for now. If there are any comments, I'll definitely respond to them, but make sure you share it with at least one person who you know needs to hear this message today. Mwah. Love to you all.